Good day. Today we are very excited to announce a new title sponsor for the Munga Events Company. So my name is Jack Black. I'm the co-owner of the Munga, and with me I've got Mr. Malusi Molewa. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Tshenolo Group of Companies. Welcome, Malusi.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And also the founder and of the Munga, Alex Harris, which I assume and I hope everybody knows. So, as I said, we're very excited with the news today that we signed a 3-year partnership with Mr. Malusi Molewa and the Tshenolo Group. We're here today to discuss and to share some thoughts and ideas of where this partnership is going and why did we sign this agreement and what is the future of the Munga with Tshenolo. Malusi, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about the Tshenolo Group of Companies? Who and what are you?
Actually, TGOC is what we abbreviate Tshenolo Group of Companies to. But we started off as Tshenolo Waste, and you've seen the agreement is mainly between the Munga and Tshenolo Waste, and simply because all these other entities that we have owe their existence to Tshenolo Waste, having been the first company that we actually started with. But if I were to explain what the group comprises of, so what we do in the main is we do medical waste management. What do? We supply containers, healthcare providers. They use them, and then once they are filled, we collect them, and then we take them for disposal and ultimately for landfilling. And then we also have our own waste treatment plant that we're building in the Rustenburg area. It's mainly driven by a green approach. So what we're using, the type of technology that we're using there is what we call an autoclave system. So basically, I don't know if you know, in the past, all the hospitals will have incinerators.
Yes.
So as time went, then obviously also the rules regarding the emissions became more stringent, and a lot of these hospitals did not comply with the new regulations. So hence they had to shut down almost all of these incinerators that you find at the public facilities. And a lot of waste now is being treated by the private sector. But just to tell you a bit about medical waste, and so of the medical waste, about 90% of the waste stream you can treat through alternative treatment methods, meaning you can use microwaving, autoclave, even incineration, which is the normal way that we are used to treating of medical waste. But 90%, like I've said, you can actually treat it through alternative methods, which is why we went for an autoclave, because one, it's green, two, it's cheaper, and we can pass on this cost saving to the client in terms of what they pay to treat their waste. But the other thing that we also do amongst our outfits is ash. So we have this contract with Eskom, where we beneficiate their ash coming from the Midumbi power station. So I don't know if you know, ash plays a pivotal role in terms of a lot of things. And where we're sitting in now, ash has played a role, and ash plays a role in the form of cement manufacturing. So a lot of cement manufacturing has a ash component that goes into there. So we do have that outfit. It's called Tshenolo Ash and Mineral Resources. And then we have also inside our own group what we call Tshenolo Technology Innovations. What do we do with that? It's an mechanical engineering component. So what we do is we design and manufacture our own now incinerators. We will move later on into autoclaves. The reason why we're starting with incinerators is because we already have an autoclave that we've already bought from China.
Okay.
So we don't want to actually do another one. So we want to do our own incinerator that we can take out there into Africa and elsewhere where there might be a need for those.
That's exciting.
Yes, and in actual fact, there is only one company that designs and manufactures incinerators in South Africa. So we felt there is space to participate, and then we went into that space, and that's in actual fact who we are as a brand and as a company.
Amazing.
But all these entities, they owe their existence to Seploft.
Amazing. So just on that, so that's the background of the company. Give us a little bit of background. People know Jack Black and Alex Harris.
Yeah.
Who's Malusi?
Yeah. Malusi is just I don't know, maybe I'm scared of growth. I want to use this phrase. It's just a young boy from Mawapani, which is more to the north of Pretoria. Born and bred, I still call that home, even though my parents have somewhat moved more towards Pretoria North now. But yeah, I'm a law graduate from the University of the Northwest.
So you're a Pac boy.
I'm not Pac. Pac is in. Is it the project to me?
Yes.
You're quite right. Yes, it joined the University of Northwest later on.
That's good.
But you're correct. I'm a Pac boy. Yeah. So I'm a law graduate. I then from there I went into working for the Road Accident Fund as a claims handler. I did my articles, and then from there I went into business. What business I went to, you won't believe. You're looking at someone who used to wear the apron and do catering. I used to cook during those days of my life, but now I've stopped. So and such things, they teach you business. It's small things,
Life experiences.
I mean, in terms of business, it's small things. They don't change in terms of how you move from this small business into a bigger business. It's how now you start viewing things as they expand and expand. But the approach remains mainly the same. So basically, that's what's happening. So these small things, they prepared me into the bigger things that I'm dealing with today. So hence I can tell a story about me having won an apron at some point in my life, me having being a taxi owner at some point in my life. And then I realized that perhaps maybe I don't belong here, let me move on to something else. And with business, you realize you are forever evolving. You don't stop. And especially if you are a visionary and you want to always tap into something new. We are having this new partnership today. I never thought in my life that I will be sitting today here celebrating this great marriage between our two entities.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Alex, can you give us a brief history and overview about the Munga and the last 10 years?
So, how long have we got? No, look, it's it's been an exciting journey. It started out as this crazy idea to get from Bloemfontein across the Karoo to Wellington in 5 days, but it's really turned into a compelling journey for most people. To be honest, most people don't race the Munga. Most people start the Munga as a pilgrimage to discover a little bit about themselves, their potential to maybe meet their maker, and that's still what it is. It's hell of a tough. You've got largely terrible roads, non-technical. You've always got a headwind. In the summer, you've got the heat. So, we call it the toughest race on earth. And for most people, it's going to be one of the toughest journeys they ever undertake. That hasn't changed, and I don't think that's going to change going forward. It's always going to be hard as nails.
Yeah, what makes a Munga unique comparing to other events?
So it's a non-stop race, and by that, and it's semi-supported, so riders have got 5 days, 120 hours to cover the 1,000 kilometers We put up 5 race villages, roughly every 200 kilometers. There's 10 water points, roughly sort of every 80, 90 kilometers. So we provide a form of infrastructure and support, but the rider decides how much they want to use, whether they want to sleep or not. They don't have to, whether they want to ride through the night, whether they want to spend 10 minutes or 3-4 hours. And I think those elements provide enough compelling motivation for that rider that's at the end of their tether, that wants to call it a day. They arrive at a race village, have a fantastic meal, some hot coffee, sleep a few hours, and they think, you know what, I can get up and I can maybe do this again and get to the next race village. And so the sum of the parts, is greater than those individual elements. And that, I think, is what sets Munga apart from pretty much every other formal event in the country. Thanks.
Malusi, how did the partnership with Munga come about?
Yeah, it's interesting that you are asking me that question. Well, the one that approached me, but us being a team that is sports oriented as well, we felt that how do we give back into the sports that we so much love. And when you approached us, for this great opportunity, we felt it couldn't have come at the right time, where we also were looking at growing our brand as well, and felt that this opportunity, is the right one to can achieve that dream. So that's how the partnership came about.
Malusi, maybe you can share a bit around how the Munga and what we stand for align with Tshenolo Waste and your brand values, and maybe some of your objectives with this partnership going forward.
Look, it's funny that you asked that, and your slogan says the toughest race on earth, and
yes,
we see ourselves as being one of the toughest mid-level waste management companies in South Africa, and our aim is to grow the brand even into a worldwide brand, an international brand as well. What prompted us to partner with yourselves was exactly that. People who have a much greater vision, and are able to look much further than the horizon, and that's actually who we are. And if, I don't know if you know this, Tshenolo, being a group of companies, also in amongst its subsidiaries, has a sports division as well. So we have what we call Tshenolo Adventure Racers, and also Tshenolo Pro Cycling Team. So that sporting angle is actually what made us come closer to knowing about Munga. I've always known about Munga. I mean, when you spoke during the Oxbow ride, that Hansi you were arranged the other day, I said, one day I want to meet that man. And that's what led to us to come to you and have this partnership at the end of the day. So that's what's bringing us together today. And that's what's leading us to become the company that we are, and sharing the greater vision that you guys have.
Fantastic. Did I hear you right? You want to take the Tshenolo brand worldwide?
Absolutely. You are so right. Actually, I just came back from an international trip where I was invited by this multinational company. And in the main, without giving out much, they're talking more partnering with Tshenolo beyond our borders. And that was exciting for us, to be invited to come and meet with them in Dubai, where they have their corporate offices, and have this discussion. And so that for us means there is somebody out there who's noticing what we are doing and seeing that we have that potential to can grow and go beyond what we think are our limits or our borderlines, and go beyond that.
Fantastic. As you noticed us, so you were noticed.
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Jack, why do you think the Tshenolo brand is such a good fit for the Munga Events Company?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we're changing lives. And, Tshenolo is changing lives with all the sporting teams that they've created. And I think that is predominantly where we start. I think secondly, we are like-minded people in our discussions, and we've got the same passion. So for me, it is really, the crux. It's our hearts that basically align. Part of that, I think it's the whole conserving the natural resources. What we stand for is, to keep the environment that we ride through and traverse through. That's where the waste management part comes in. So I think, altogether, it just makes a lot of business sense from a waste management perspective, but also meeting the people hearts as well. Okay, Alex and Malusi, I think this question is for both of you. How do you both envision this partnership benefiting the cycling community and the sport in general?
Look, you see people on bicycles every day, and our vision has always been as an outfit to do our part in terms of being a responsible corporate citizen. In terms of how do we also assist in the reduction of the carbon emission. Now, getting a lot of people on bikes, according to us, helps achieve that objective. So that's the push that we want to see happening. And without sounding racist or anything, but we want to encourage this sport, make it known, especially amongst our black people, and have them ride on. We've had a lot of interest, and we follow it amongst our followers and those that have an interest in what we do, in as far as Tshenolo Adventure Race is concerned, and TPCT, which is the pro cycling team. And a lot of people want to come in, want to join that kind of thing. And you look at me, most of the time, I'm on my e-bike. And a lot of people think that if you're on an e-bike, you are not actually doing anything. This thing is driving itself. And that's for us, actually. You need to put in an effort. That thing will assist you to a maximum of about 35% assistance. The 65% comes from you. You stop pedaling, it stops going. Most people think that, because probably they haven't cycled before, or, cycling looks tough, and therefore they cannot get onto a bike. But the point I'm making is there are bikes made for everyone. Absolutely. So you get onto an e-bike, but my aim being on an e-bike is to transition later on onto a normal bike. Once I'm fit enough to get onto a normal bike, but for now I'll still stick to my e-bikes and just take it easy and then go with the flow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Alex, just to follow up on the partnership benefits, I mean, how do you see the synergies between the Munga and Tshenolo and growing the sport, etc.?
Look, I think one of the sort of DNA markers of our brand is that our events mimic life. Life is not perfect. Life is tough. You plan your day, you plan your week, and stuff happens. Stuff happens that you didn't predict. And it throws you off course and it knocks you down. And now you have to figure out how to get back up and how to keep going. And that's, I think, why part of our brand is so compelling, because people come out of it and they've learned how to bounce back. They've learned how to be resilient. They've learned how to dig deep. They've learned how to keep believing. And our elements have motivated them. And so I think, Tshenolo's got a great vision, and our experience in putting these markers and touch points can help augment that journey for your guys and the sort of stakeholders that are part of your process. And we've learned that the hard way. So I think there's some fantastic synergies, and of course you bring resource to the partnership, and resource helps us augment the experience for riders, makes things more compelling. We can do a few more things to the water points. We can do little touch points that just mean people never forget our event. And if you see how many unsolicited comments we get around how things have like radically been shaken up in their lives, it's because the Munga is what it is. It's tough, but it's just a well thought out and put together event. And I think the two of us coming together, we're just going to take it to the next level, and that's super exciting for me. So I want to line up and do one of our races soon.
Yeah.
So Lucy, if we talk about partnership synergies, how will you measure success of your involvement in the Munga?
Look, success for us at the end of the day will come if we reach our objectives as the two entities having come together. And like I've said, let's encourage a lot of guys to, and by guys I mean both male and female, let's get onto the bicycles and let's ride, and there's fun in that. And I can tell you, you will not realize this until you get onto a bike. We feel that we are a catalyst for change in terms of what we stand for, encouraging those that come behind us, that it is achievable. Now, we're not only talking about achievable in terms of business, but also talking about achievable in terms of adopting a positive lifestyle. And I like what Alex just said, that a ride like a Munga race it gives one an opportunity to do during that long stretch. You can introspect, and I can tell you. And he says you come out of that race a changed person, and it's because you've really dug in deep into your soul and come out with the answers that you've long been looking for during that lonely moment where it's just you and nature, and you are able to have the answers in all the challenges that you've been having in life and all those things whilst breathing dust.
Right, totally. And I can add to that, as well as, it's not necessarily just, the change that you experience, but it's also, challenging your limits. If you think you cannot go through the night and then you do it, I mean, suddenly, that is just a new experience. So, 100%.
I mean, you look at me. I mean, I studied law. I used to look at the guys that collected the refuse when I was growing, and I said, this must be the worst of jobs out there. And am I doing it today? I'm collecting refuse in the form of medical waste. But look, there is opportunities in everything.
Yeah.
We don't look at this partnership that we have as a partnership where we want to, in actual fact, make money, but we want to touch lives in a way that others are influenced to pick up this healthy lifestyle and this healthy lifestyle. And I like what Munga has done in terms of introducing, the smaller rides, like what you've done this past weekend. Everyone now can get involved, and it's no longer that from Bloemfontein all the way down to the Cape. There is other opportunities that others can do and still have the same benefits. So that's beautiful what you guys said.
Thank you.
It's not just the Shambok now. There's a couple of
not only the Shambok. Yeah, there's a smaller Shambok.
Absolutely.
So Alex, with talking about the benefits of this partnership, what message would you like to send out there to the friends of the Munga?
Yeah, look, we're a Christian business. We're kind of guided by a set of values that's greater than ourselves. We believe all our riders, everyone has been made in the image of God, has in their DNA the capacity to create, to invent, to push, to inspire. And most people don't know that. Most people don't have the chance or the opportunity to discover that they far more than they think, that they can do far more than they believe. And so our events provide that opportunity, and I think the partnership has now going to allow us to, one, increase the sort of spectrum of events. You saw this recent race on the weekend, and so allow people that are standing on the side thinking, I'd love to do the full Munga, but that Shambok is just too big. And now there's a way to step in. And so when they cross that threshold, even on a race like Saturday, they come back and they think, I think maybe I can actually do a grit or a 24-hour. And so we really just connect, and that's the message, be bold, take a step in faith and come and do one of the smaller events, and you're going to learn more about yourself, more about your maker, and more about this world that God has created. And that's an exciting thing.
Right. I like the spiritual angle you're coming in with. It gives me, or makes me want to ask you a question. Are you a spiritual person?
That's not rhetorical, eh? You ask it. I must. Yeah, 100%. I had an experience on Everest many, many years ago, and since then, my life is measured by something beyond us, And I think that's kind of the view we bring to our events, being Christian, is that we just know what we do will outlive us. Our time is very short, but we're part of an eternal timeline. And everyone around us carries that DNA, and we live and operate in a world that God has created almost like a temple. When I see what the riders feedback on the Munga, whether it's a hill or the remote Karoo, there's something powerful about being in that temple and understanding everything is sacred, And so that's how our lives are, Yeah, I don't think of myself as religious, but spiritual is a great term, because we spend time thinking about things in the spirit and beyond just the physical,
Yeah, when I saw you finish the Freedom Challenge, Jack shared your finish, the video with me of your finish, and I must say I almost shed a tear. And when I saw you kneel, I said, "Is this man really praying?"
Yeah,
because it gave that impression that this man is thinking, he's God for having finished this brutal race. And congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
You just finished that challenging ride.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I just felt I wanted to touch on that as well.
But just to add to that as well, Malusi, so, we give 10% back annually, to less fortunate, relating to the church, to people that is in need. So, this last weekend we did the Munga Equip in Middelburg. So, straight after then we do the recon, and we give 10% back to the Care Village, which is a children's home in Middelburg that needs the money. And when we did earlier this year the event in Namibia, there's an organization called Legacy of Love. So our heart is really to give back. And that's what the spiritual and the religious portion, what we really believe is not to, this is a business that we basically need to make a living out, but we need to give back, then you will get more back to that rent. No, that's good.
Lucy, maybe a practical question around what you think our brand and as an events company has, what kind of impact can we have on the communities and those local economies?
Look, we do a lot of adventure races all the time, especially on a grander scale, like your your world champs and your exhibition races. We just did one now in Namibia, the Africa Expedition race. Look, it worked. And this, I believe, should be the objective of any race that's been done, especially your ultra endurance races, your long races. Let's create an impact. We go through communities. 80% of your Munga race goes through the Northern Cape province, and you go through a lot of those small dorpies, if I can call them that. The question becomes, what legacy do we leave for those communities in terms of is there any economic impact that we are leaving behind through this race being every year, by the way? What you guys are doing. Is there an economic impact that we are leaving behind? How do we make sure that it's continual in terms of it's not only happening during that time of the year when we're having the race? And I think I had a chat with you, Jack, when we spoke about the container accommodation. And I can tell you that area actually of the Northern Cape is becoming a vibrant town, if I can call it that now, because of the SKA, the Square Kilometre Array project. And there is there's a need in terms of accommodation. And I've seen quite some beautiful inventions. They're converting your containers into accommodation.
Rice Village 7.
Absolutely. And I mean, somebody who's going down to the Cape and decides, I want to use the back roads, will know that there is this accommodation en route, and I can always stop there. But we know that if we have someone who just donates space on his farm for us to put these containers, and people know that there is that kind of accommodation. So that's the type of impact that I believe actually we need to leave behind. The same will go for schools. How do we go and introduce the sport into the school? And I look at the greater Munga race as an adventure race. Mostly because one, it's more self-supported. And how do we teach the young ones those life, and I call them survival skills? How do you make sure that when you are alone out there, you stay positive and want to carry on? So that's the message that we need to drive across and impart on these young kids in terms of the legacy that we can leave behind. So that's how I see, us changing the lives and changing the economies in a positive way that we can, both as Munga and as Tshenolo. By the way, we also operate in the Northern Cape province as one of our clients. And I happen to know all these towns that you go through. Yes, the Northern Cape, and and we have a policy in the company. And our policy says we need to hire local as much as we can. That's how we impact the economy positively by creating those employments in the local small dorpies that we operate in.
Well, Lucy, from an economic and community impact perspective, and specifically if we talk about the Munga, where we traverse about 80% through the Northern Cape, the one discussion that we had was, that we will jointly start an NGO and that we would jointly, take this initiative. Tshenolo was not built in a day, Munga was not built in a day. So how do you see this initiative basically growing?
Look, again, I'll touch on the issue of partnerships, not only between Munga and Tshenolo. We need to partner with the provincial government, the local communities themselves, in terms of sharing ideas and having projects that we can do together, either leading to or post the Munga race.
And sustainable over time.
Absolutely. You know, if you have one event like having your birthday every year, it happens on that day, then it's forgotten. So if we can go into an initiative that says every day when somebody wakes up in those communities that we traverse, they can think about Munga, they can think about Tshenolo when they look. Our trucks pass there, I can tell you, every week pass through those areas. And we need to have those kind of engagements and talks. We will start it from our side, since we are doing some like with the provincial government. We will start it in terms of putting it out there, in terms of having a buy-in from the provincial government, and then also the communities. We will do the initiative of going as well, talking to the relevant people in those areas in terms of from their side, what do they think we can do in order to leave a long-lasting legacy through this initiative that we are.
Absolutely. And I think what for me is exciting is it's bigger than Tshenolo and Munga, and it's other partners that will get involved in corporate companies. And I think that's the exciting thing to actually make a change.
I agree. I mean, never leave the communities that you pass through behind. Excellent. Leave a long-lasting, positive change where you can. That's very important. 100%. Yeah. And that's how you get the support. That's how you get the protection as well, in terms of making sure you see these kids, maybe they will remove the corrugation at some point. Keep see these guys come here and then they are going to feel this, so let's just smooth it a bit. You can get
very right.
Keep dreaming. Yeah, it wouldn't be Munga. You see how that.
Jack, what are some of the long-term goals of the Munga, and how does this partnership augment that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it's continuing to keep changing lives. I think the reason why I got involved is not only participating in the Munga, but talking to people and hearing their stories and what changed in their lives and the impact that that one night in the middle of a Tankwa Karua has meant for them, and not only from a spiritual perspective, but also a lot of people go into the Munga with pain and riding for a loved one that maybe has passed, etc. So I think our heart is always to keep changing lives, and I think the human experience, we must never ever forget that. And I think if we talk about the Munga goals, that will always be at the core of our hearts. And I think, just from a sponsorship perspective and the partnership with Tshenolo, events company is different to popular belief. You can't just run it on, the events revenue that you get. But now, with a strong financial partnership with Tshenolo, we can actually give more back, not only to the riders, but also to the communities that traverse, as Malusi just said. And I think that is, for me, the two critical things that will change. And I think lastly, the Munga brand, it's more than just this one race in the year. We've got multiple events which we will address a little bit later, but it's actually getting, to grassroots levels and across the year, influencing more events, communities, people, riders, etc.
So this goes to the two of you gentlemen. This being your 10th year, and congratulations by the way on your 10th anniversary.
Thank you.
But can you share with us in terms of special initiatives that you guys are looking at doing in celebration of this great milestone?
Well, from a race perspective, we're going to make it just a little bit harder. One way the Munga's different. Any other race, if someone asks you if you've done this or that, they ask you what was your time. They never ask that question at the Munga. They just want to know if you've done it. They don't care how long it took you. And so there's obviously a tough element to the race. And every section of the race between race villages has got a section that's a little bit harder, maybe a dual farm track or a remote piece. And over time, we've called those pieces razzle dazzle. And, every year one goes in, one comes out because the farmer moves his sheep into another camp, or the farmer's daughter's got married and now we've got to use that farm and change the water point.
Yeah.
And, last year there was a lot of talk around how we had taken out one of the key razzle dazzles and now the Munga was much easier. Let me tell you, the Munga will never be as easy. But one thing we're certainly going to do this year is we're bringing in every razzle dazzle since year one. So it's going to be a fraction more tricky. But, I mean, for us to celebrate the 10 years, there's not much we can do in terms of the sort of logistic layout to the race. We partner with farmers who are full-time farmers, 360 days of the year, and then for 5 days they man a Munga water point. And it's an incredibly stressful, albeit an uplifting experience for them. It's not farming, so it's a distraction for them. And so we carry this, gently, and we understand that sensitive tension. But we can certainly, we've got some ideas around goodie bags, around the touch points. We spend a lot of energy around our sort of iconography, the badges, the stripes. We've got a rider this year who's going to be doing his 10th Munga and he's finished all 9, Clinton Halsey. I mean,
Didn't have a broken wrist one year.
That's a special occasion for us. So for us, it's just about celebrating our rider demographic, lifting up and honoring the riders that were there in the original 42 10 years ago, that have come back many, many times, that have believed in us, and maybe doing a few special things for them. But the route, it's still going to be windy. It's still going to be bloody hot, and it's still going to have terrible roads.
True. Yeah. Jay?
Yeah, I think I've got nothing more to add. I think, the value that we give back to the riders will be appreciated. I think, we're going to use, the same race villages, same water points. I think what is exciting for me about the 10-year is we will have the biggest field of riders this year. A lot of people that wanted to do it maybe in a year or two's time has moved it forward because of the 10th anniversary. And we're very excited to have old riders, but also, the newbies. We have more, Munga events during the year to help the people prepare for it. And I think although we had a very good amount of riders that entered, I think it's going to be even better than what we anticipate.
Great. All of the best in doing your 10-year race. I'm also looking forward to it.
Yeah. You're going to be there?
And I'm planning to do it myself.
Good.
I'm not promising to finish it, but I will start it. But one day I will finish.
Yeah, maybe just the one thing that I can add is, one thing that we basically incorporating into this year is also, it's not only about riding your bicycle. So on the 1st of December, we're launching a trail run, and we might as well do it today as well.
Yeah.
So we're launching a trail run at the Dwarf Wine Estate. So whilst the people are finishing, we're actually having quite a nice trail running event, a 10 and a 25 kilometer, because it's a completely different community. So, we're looking at not only, the riders doing the ultimate extreme endurance race, we're also looking at, as we discussed earlier, incorporating running shorter events like the Munga Equip this weekend, and just to have a big family of Munga events at the end of the time.
Beautiful.
Malusi, Alex, thanks for your time. I think it was a good conversation. And any final thoughts of this partnership, Malusi?
Yeah, look, we're excited what the future is holding for both Tshenolo and for the Munga family. Our vision extends beyond what we've signed on the paper. We're looking at a much longer relationship between our two families. And like I've said before, impacting people, especially those that are not on bicycles yet. Yeah, let's get them onto bicycles. We will do our part in terms of influencing and getting more people onto bicycles. So we're looking forward to a greater future together.
No, thank you for your all's contribution. We really appreciate it. Alex, any final thoughts from your side?
Yeah, I think, I'm reminded of one of the proverbs in the Bible that says, trust the Lord with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Do not lean on your own understanding. And if we go back 11 years to the start of the Munga and that tumultuous launch and first year that is, familiar with many riders in the mountain biking demographic, when we had $1 million and we had to cancel and we lost, a sponsor and postpone. And we were in a big hole, and it took a couple of years to dig ourselves out of that hole. And we were honest with our riders from day one. And we said, listen, this is what's happened. We got to pull the plug. And then starting the brand, very different to that original idea of $1 million and slowly building. But if I tell you how many times over the last 10 years, my wife has said to me, listen, you need to go and get a proper job now, and simply because we just haven't had a decent sponsor, and it's been a real test of faith. And this is the first time in those 11 years that we have now finally found someone that's like-minded, that shares our heart, and that has come to the party that can augment our journey with resource, And it's going to take an enormous amount, of pressure and stress off our lives. And so back to that, that scripture that you just have to trust, and trust is such a difficult thing. And so, Malusi, I just want to, personally say from both of us, this is more than just a partnership. This is a godsend. It's a divine moment to
absolutely
shift the ship in a new direction, and to just bring alive something that many people believed was dead for so long. So yeah, we're super excited.
We're glad we tell you could bring the impact.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, this was a very interesting and informal conversation. So thank you for both of you gentlemen. I think the call to action from our side is please follow the Munga website. There's some exciting news. We're doing a Munga tour in October, which is not for the hardcore Munga riders. We're going to do a recce of a route and do all those wonderful things that Alex has said, as scouting the route and putting all those old sections back into the race. But that's actually if you want to come with an e-bike and experience a little bit of a heart and soul of a Munga. We're doing that in October. We still got a Munga Grid Northwest at the end of September coming up. But yeah, we would like to see you all. So if you haven't entered, you have time until the end of October to enter. So please go and press that button, and we'll see you at the start on the 27th of November in Bloemfontein.